Pressure from every angle.
When will we feel better off, Chancellor?
Difficult questions from wherever she looks. But this a Chancellor determined not to be thrown off her stride.
Will tax go up, Rachel Reeves?
That's a question for the budget in the autumn, but this day matters too. This, the first spending review in 3 years, the moment when the Chancellor decides how to divvy up hundreds of billions to pay for our public services and set the roadmap for Britain and this government for years to come.
Chancellor of the Exchequer to make a statement. Rachel Reeves.
We are renewing Britain. But I know that too many people in too many parts of our country are yet to feel it. The purpose of this spending review is to change that.
Labour trying to turn the page on a difficult first year in power.
The priorities of this spending review are the priorities of working people. To invest in Britain's security, in Britain's health, and to grow Britain's economy so that working people are better off.
Defence, NHS, economic growth. These are 3 pillars of the Reeves plan. The Chancellor confirming that defence spending will rise to 2.6% of GDP by 2027, and the NHS the biggest winner.
This Labour government is making a record cash investment in our National Health Service, increasing real terms day-to-day spending by 3% per year for every single year of this spending review.
And as for the economy, Reeves allowing billions of borrowing to invest in Britain's infrastructure.
The rule has allowed me to increase public investment by over £100 billion in the autumn and a further £13 billion in the spring. Investment to rebuild our transport networks, to rebuild our defence capability and to rebuild our energy security. In short, to grow our economy.
Capital to build new homes.
The biggest cash injection into social and affordable housing in 50 years. A new affordable homes programme in which I am investing £39 billion over the next decade.
And a pledge to end the use of hotels for asylum seekers by the end of this Parliament.
We will be ending the costly use of hotels to house asylum seekers in this Parliament, saving the taxpayer £1 billion a year.
But with public money tight, plenty of losers in this settlement too. The Home Office with a 1.7% cut in its day-to-day budget over the next 3 years, raising questions over whether the Home Secretary can deliver the 13,000 extra police promised in Labour's manifesto. Cuts too for the day-to-day budgets of the Foreign Office, Department for Culture and Local Government, while schools got squeezed. The opposition adamant Reeves won't stick to these plans.
This spending review is not worth the paper that it is written on. Because the Chancellor has completely lost control. This is the spend now, tax later review. Because the Right Honourable Lady knows she will need to come back here in the autumn with yet more taxes. And a cruel summer of speculation awaits.
And the unofficial opposition Reform UK looming large in the Chancellor's speech.
And his party have been in Parliament for less than a year, and yet they have already racked up £80 billion of unfunded commitments. They are simply not serious.
From the Commons to the hospital opposite Parliament to sell her big handout to the NHS. You have said that you would never make unfunded spending pledges, but you have this week because you've pledged £1.52 billion additional funding for the winter fuel allowance reversal. People are saying that there will be tax rises this autumn to fund increased spending. What do you say to them?
Well, we're sticking with the means test for the winter fuel allowance. I think that's an important principle. The wealthiest pensioners should not have their winter fuel bills subsidised, but we have increased the level of that means test. And before any money goes out the door, we will have a budget in the autumn, and we will show in the round, when the Office of Budget Responsibility update their forecast, how everything is consistent with the fiscal rules that I set out as Chancellor last autumn.
You didn't answer on tax.
Well, we'll set out our policies in the autumn, but we made the tax changes that were necessary last year to fund the spending that I've set out today.
A moment that's been months in the making. The Chancellor and Health Secretary clearly happy and relieved today, laying foundations they hope will turn the government's fortunes around. But it may take years for voters to feel the same. Beth Rigby, Sky News, Westminster.